The greatest player his country has ever produced is about to walk away with everything except the one thing he wanted most. Cristiano Ronaldo is 41 years old, 143 international goals, a number so absurd it stopped meaning anything years ago, 6 World Cups, a record nobody has ever touched. And yet, the one trophy he has chased since he was a skinny kid kicking a ball against a wall in Madeira, he has never lifted it. Portugal gave him everything, except that. Now the 2026 World Cup is here, and for the first time the story is not about him, because behind the 41-year-old legend stands a generation that grew up watching him try and fail and try again. A generation that learned the hardest lesson in football, that individual genius is never enough. They are not playing for Ronaldo's legacy. They are playing for something older, something quieter, a debt that has been building for 60 years, and the rest of the world should be paying attention, because this Portugal team might finally be the one. Every great tournament run is built on a foundation that does not break. And Portugal's foundation starts in goal. Diogo Costa, 26 years old, the man between the posts at Porto. He does things in penalty shootouts that goalkeepers simply are not supposed to do. He reads the game like a man 10 years older, not flashy, just quietly, ruthlessly excellent. The kind of keeper who makes an entire team feel solid before a single ball is kicked. In front of him stands the anchor of everything, Ruben Dias, a Premier League champion, for a period the best center-back on the planet without serious argument. Dias does not just defend, he organizes, he demands. He drags the standards of everyone around him upward by sheer force of will. But beside him, there is a question, because in a decision that shocked the entire nation, one of their brightest young defenders was left out of the squad completely. A snub almost nobody saw coming, so the manager turns to youth, Goncalo Inácio of Sporting, calm and assured far beyond his years, or the versatile Renato Veiga, who has more than proven he belongs. Either way, it is a gamble, and gambles at the back can decide a World Cup. And then there are the fullbacks. This is where Portugal turned defense into a weapon. João Cancelo. He spent time in the wilderness, the fallout at City, the uncertainty. But something about the Portugal shirt unlocks him completely. He bombs forward like a winger wearing a fullback's number. His control in tight spaces is outrageous. When he is right, he is one of the most complete fullbacks in the world. And on the other side, Nuno Mendes, right now the best left back on earth. A 2-time Champions League winner, devastating going forward, technically immaculate. There is not much more to say. That is not a pair of defenders. That is a pair of weapons. The foundation is set, now comes the hard part. Now the midfield. And this is where it gets complicated, because notice the name that is missing. No Palhinha, no destroyer, no physical anchor, no midfielder who makes the other team feel like they are running into furniture. That dirty, indispensable, unglamorous role, the manager has chosen not to fill it with the man best suited to play it. And that single decision changes the entire puzzle, because now the question is not who fits next to the destroyer. The question is whether there is a destroyer at all. Look at who he did bring. Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, João Neves, a world of quality and a clear fault line. João Neves is 21 years old, and he already looks like the heartbeat of Portuguese football for the next decade. What he does at PSG is control. Pure, unhurried, intelligent control. He reads the game like a man who has been playing for 20 years. He does not panic. He does not lose the ball under pressure. And here is what tells you everything. Not long ago, he did not even have a guaranteed place. The manager wanted him on the pitch so badly he played him out of position, at right back, just to fit that talent in somehow. A player good enough to be forced into the wrong position just to be included. And now he is undroppable. Whether João Neves plays is no longer a question. He starts. The question is what that means for everyone else. Because you also have Vitinha, quicker in transition, more vertical. He connects the press to the attack seamlessly. And Bruno Fernandes. On a good tournament night, one of the best creative players alive. He finds passes that do not exist. He scores from situations that should not be goals. And Bernardo Silva, perhaps the most technically gifted Portuguese player of his generation, possibly ever, the brain, the heart, and the legs all at once. So as a fan, you want one thing. Put them all out there. Neves, Vitinha, Bruno, Bernardo. 4 brains, 4 pairs of feet that never lose the ball. A midfield that can slowly pass an opponent into madness. On paper, it is beautiful, but that is exactly the problem. Because without a destroyer, that quartet is missing something fundamental, someone to clean up the mess when it breaks down. And none of those 4 is by nature that man. So the manager faces a choice far duller than those glittering names, but a choice that could make or break the entire tournament. Does he sacrifice a star for balance? Bring in a holding midfielder and leave one of his jewels on the bench every single game? The dream is all the stars at once. The reality is a headache he cannot shake. And honestly, this is the one I want your take on. All 4 together, or sacrifice a star for balance. Tell me in the comments who you would start. And while you are down there, subscribe. We are only getting started. And then there are the wingers, a completely different kind of headache, because Portugal have 5 attacking weapons and effectively 2 places to put them. João Felix is scoring goals in Saudi Arabia alongside Ronaldo himself. Over there, he rediscovered something, the joy of playing without pressure. That loose, unpredictable movement that once made him worth a fortune, he is back. The question is, does that form translate? Does the manager trust it? Rafael Leao is still the most terrifying player in this squad when he has space and confidence. On his best nights, when he gets the ball on the left and starts running, full-backs simply stop existing. Pedro Neto brings a different danger, clever, relentless, always in motion, the work rate the manager loves. Francisco Conceição has had moments that scream he is ready for a major tournament, direct, fearless. And Trincao, still out there, still gifted, still waiting for someone to fully believe in him. 5 options, 2 spots, and the manager cannot pick them all. Leao on the left feels close to non-negotiable, but the right side is wide open. None of them is the obvious answer. So he will rotate, he will experiment, he will be questioned no matter what he decides, and he may not settle on a first choice until the knockout rounds begin. But here is the thing, that uncertainty is not a weakness if you manage it right. Squad depth at international level is currency, and Portugal are rich. The only question is whether the manager spends it wisely or drowns in too many voices and not enough clarity when the pressure truly hits. To understand what this squad is carrying, you have to understand the ghosts behind them. Portugal's World Cup history is a story of almost, written in the most beautiful handwriting you have ever seen. It begins in 1966, Eusebio, the Black Panther. For one extraordinary summer, a small nation on the edge of Europe made the entire world pay attention. 3rd place, top scorer, and tears on the pitch when it ended. A man sitting alone with the weight of what could have been. Then Portugal disappeared from the World Cup for 20 years. 20 years. That moment did not just close a chapter, it closed a generation. Then came the golden generation, Figo, Rui Costa. There was not hope. There was belief. Belief that this was the group that would finally do it. They came closest in 2006. A young Ronaldo already throwing shapes, 4th place, after losing to France in the semi-final, and the golden generation retired, with nothing from the tournament they wanted most. And then Ronaldo carried it alone for 15 years, 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022. Each time the feeling that surely this time. Each time it ended in heartbreak in 2022, on the bench, then on the pitch, then in tears. He gave everything. It was never enough. That is the weight sitting on the squad's shoulders, not a burden, a debt. But here is what is different now. This generation did not grow up watching Ronaldo win. They grew up watching him try and fall short. And they learned what he could not, that the story can no longer be one man. There is no single face to this team. That used to feel like a weakness. Now it feels like evolution. The story is the squad. Dias marshalling a back line of real steel. Cancelo bombing forward like it is 2021 again. Neves conducting the middle as if he has done it for a decade. And somewhere, in a deciding match, in extra time, with the pressure as heavy as it ever gets, João Neves will receive the ball in midfield. And he will play it simply and correctly and without fear. And that, right there, might be the moment that changes everything. Portugal have never won a World Cup. They have watched one of the greatest players in history try to win one for them and fall just short. But the ball is already moving. The only question left is how far it travels. So tell me, how far does this Portugal side actually go? Another agonizing quarterfinal? Or is this finally the year? Drop your prediction in the comments and subscribe to Pitch Black Docs, because this is going to be a story worth watching.